Hey everybody, welcome to the Penn event and rigging seminar. I'm here with Rich and Sammy. So our first seminar today is going to be on bait fishing. So we're going to go through a couple different rigs and really how we differentiate these rigs during the trolling season versus the regular season. So the first rig I want to go through right now is our simple fish finder rig. So this is what we're going to use with cut bunker, and we're going to fish on the bottom. So generally speaking, we're using 1 to 2 inch stakes. We're hooking them right through the back on a circle hook here. So I'm going to go through every component of this rig and kind of who, where, what, why. So first, the circle hook. What I'm looking for is a very light wire circle hook. I do not want something that's going to weigh the bait down, and I don't need something that's meant for tuna. And when you get into these 7/0, 8/0 size circle hooks, you're going to find that a lot of them really start gauging out the wire. So you want to be really careful and try and get yourself something really light that the fish aren't going to notice. I personally really like these Mustad Demon Perfect hooks. They're really light, and in the 7 and 8/0 they still stay light. I also really like the Gamakatsu Octopus inline hooks. They're really great too. Both of these kind of in 7 and 8/0. You're also going to find with circle hooks, they really rate them differently, so you're going to really have to look at the individual hook to decide which hook you're going to go with. So as we move up, well, I got a tangled mess now. So the leader, I'm using a fluorocarbon leader. This is 25-pound test. If I'm fishing anywhere near structure, I'm probably bumping up to 30 pounds, but in general, I'm staying 25. So in the summer, I'm at 15 or 20 pounds. During this trophy season, I'm going to be at 25 or 30 pounds. Next thing I'm doing is this leader's also going to be longer. So during the summer season, I'm probably going to be fishing a 2.5 to 3 foot leader. During the spring season, I'm going to put extra leader out there. So I don't know whether it helps or not, but I like to think these fish are a little more finicky. I'm going to get less chances, so I want it far away as possible from the hardware. So as we move up here, you're also going to see we are tied directly to a Spro power swivel. So this is the same thing with the wire. I don't want a lot of weight. I don't want a lot of heavy hardware. This is a nice lightweight inline swivel that's rated well over 100 pounds. As you can see here, we have our nice knot protector. This is really great. It's not necessarily needed for these fish finders, but if you're using egg sinkers or any other type of lead weight, you're really going to want those. They come in these nice little packs here. It's a great thing to have. And so on the actual fish finder itself, this is just where your weight's going to go. So generally speaking, on the bay, you're going to be somewhere between 1.5 and 3 ounces. I'm usually sitting right there at 2 ounces and fishing all of these pretty much on the bottom. So even though these spring fish like to swim in different parts of the water column, and you're going to find them in different parts of the water column, you're mostly going to catch your fish on the bottom. So you're probably going to be fishing 4 to 6 rods on the bottom off the channel edge, somewhere in that 25 to 35 foot range. So there's a few other things we can do. So if I put out 4 to 6 of these rigs, I'm pretty much maximizing what I can put out without really causing a huge mess. So if you really want to get fancy and you really want to try and get as many baits out there as possible, really up your chances, a release bobber is a great way to go to separate your baits and get more rods out. So the way a release bobber works is, well, first off, the rig is the same as same rig we just looked at here, same size hook. I am roughly the same size leader, so about a 3 to 4 foot leader. Big difference here is I'm usually going to be using an egg sinker instead of that sliding weight there to get my bait down. So the way a release bobber works, which I think I'm going to have one of you guys hold this rod here. The way this works is you would put your bait on here, so whether that's a chunk of LY, live perch or something, and you're going to actually measure out how deep you want that. So let's say I'm in 30 feet of water and I want to stagger some baits out at 20 feet. I'm going to simply take out 20 feet of line. We're just going to pretend that I just did 20 feet of line. And wherever that 20 feet is, I'm going to press in the bobber here and you're going to see this open. You're just going to put your line in there, and then you're going to put the other end through this snap. So what's going to happen is you're going to drift this back behind your boat and just really let it drift back so it's kind of away from your spread, all your other stuff. And then you can pretty much just set it in the rod holder. What's going to happen is when a fish hits this, it's going to snap out of here, and then this is going to free float on your line. Great part about this is this little screw here will adjust this tension too. So it's something you can kind of play with, make sure you have the tension right so, you know, fish isn't hitting it and it's staying on. You do want that to really freely, easily release. But this is a great way to add rods to your spread, get baits out of different parts of the water column. I do feel like when you are fishing bait in the middle of the water column, having it on a rig like this farther away from the bait is definitely a lot better than having it right next to the boat at 10 or 15 feet, as you can imagine. So the last rig I really want to go over right now for spring fishing is going to be live lining, and we don't really do much of this, but it is an effective way to fish. So this would mostly be with white perch because we usually don't have a spot up here. So again, we're going back to our fish finder style rig. Same hook, same leader. Big difference here, generally speaking, a shorter leader. I don't want it to tangle as much, so I'm going to shorten it. The other thing I'm going to do is we're going to tie a perfection loop here. So all my other knots were direct knots to it. The reason I'm going to do that is this is easy to change in and out. I can loop hooks through. So having a white perch that's this size versus having a white perch that's this size may make you want to change your hook. If you have them all pre-leadered and looped like this, you can quickly change them in and out. And that's the big reason why I like to do these rigs that way. For the actual weight, you generally speaking should not need weight. They will usually swim down, especially if you have them pinned right in front of the head. If you need weight, you can just start adding quarter ounce, half ounce, so on, either on a fish finder rig. I also like to use twist-on sinkers as opposed to that, which just twist right onto your line, or removable split shot to add small amounts of weight there. So that's a quick preview of all our bait rigs for the trophy season, and we'll be back in a couple hours with some more videos for you guys. Thanks for tuning in.